I'm Greg Jarbo. I'm here at SES Toronto 2012 with Dax Hamman. Dax, you had some really interesting insights as to European regulation for like cookies?
Sure. The regulations around cookies are getting very complicated, particularly for marketers who operate in different territories. Europe in 2010 passed what's called the Telecoms Reform Act, and that included some law about cookies where they basically said cookies now had to be opted in for all consumers. The way we work in Europe is that a law is passed at the European level and then each country gets to interpret it. That interpretation had to be completed by May of 2012, so last month, and each country has interpreted it in a different way, which leads to a lot of complication. So Holland and Germany, for instance, very strict interpretation. Every consumer must be shown some sort of overlay that says this is the cookies that we're showing. Typically it's operational, such as a login cookie. Then it's functional, such as analytics, so maybe an Omniture or a Webtrends. And then it's things classed as behavioral advertising or behavioral targeting. The terminology for our industry is terrible, but that's the choice that's been made. The UK is a little bit easier for us as an industry. They've agreed to continue to almost hide it still in a privacy policy or a terms and conditions. But even if you're a US or a Canadian-based marketer, you have to be aware of these regulations and the impact you have when doing business over in Europe. The US slightly different. We have a much more thorough self-regulation program in place. It centers around notice and choice. You can find out information at aboutads.info, and you're going to start to see a little eye icon in the top right-hand corner of the ads more and more, and that tells the consumer that they're being targeted, gives them an opportunity to explore why, and then they can opt out of that information. Canada is now starting to embrace that. They're a little bit behind the US, but you're going to start to see it here as well. So all in all, it's a mishmash of regulation and rules. Every brand's at a different position. And I would say if you're a big brand, be particularly aware, because I think particularly in Europe, they're going to be after some test cases to really drive home the point that they're serious about this regulation.
So there you have it, some tips for global marketers. Be aware what's going on in Europe is going to probably shape your policies and procedures. I'm Greg Jarbo. We're here at SES Toronto 2012 with more to come.